Hello, YouTube friends, subscribers, and visitors. This is Frosty the Dragon speaking. Some of you know me as Aqua Tiger, some of you know me by other names. Whatever. After having nearly been on YouTube for 2 full years, and posting quite a few videos, mostly gaming, I feel the time has finally come to unmask who I really am. Hey! How's it going, people? I go by the real name of Alex, but I don't expect to be called that very much, just because, 1, there's a bunch of other Alexes, 2, is there a second one? Whatever. Anyway, I might as well give a few facts about myself, now that I'm actually in the spotlight here. First off, I'm a big dude. You might be able to see it from this, my big shoulders, my big height. I'm 6'3", and I'm very, very scared of it. At least I used to be. I still kind of am, actually. I'm still trying to get used to it. Second, there's a lot of quirks about me. I tend to talk a bit too loud. I'm a bit obsessed with computers. Not in that way, you assholes. There's actually a couple words that can be used to explain this. My favorite two? Asperger syndrome. I'll spell that out later sometime. But there's just too much to say of the syndrome. I refuse to call it a disability, even though some people might think so, just because I don't really feel that disabled. One characteristic is a lot of social problems, but not a lot of problems with cognitive development, so I might use language weirdly, I might talk to someone and not realize anything. Yeah, do not confuse it with high-functioning autism. I know there's not very much, dang it, this is the Asperger's kicking in! Do not confuse it with high-functioning autism, just because there's no formal diagnosis for that, but there's a formal diagnosis for Asperger's syndrome. I'll get into that a bit later, some other day, if asked. Now let me talk about a couple of my other interests, besides gaming. Surprisingly, writing is on the top of the list. I'm not a big fan of reading some of the longer books. I actually get most of my reading from video game guides, which is kind of funny. Yes, this all ties together. So, I've also been trying to write books myself. My favorite genre to write is fantasy novels. I haven't really gotten far yet, and I don't know, I just hope to get somewhere with this in the future. I surprisingly also like animating of some sort, even though I can't draw worth crap. If given a couple models, I could animate them and probably jury-rig them into something really nice looking. You might have seen hints of it earlier. I'm crappy at any kind of artwork. Just the doing is... Never mind, skip that spot. Now, let me talk a little bit more about my gaming obsession. It goes so far that I actually have quite a bit of academic knowledge of a lot of games that I really haven't played. Like I said, I read strategy guides all the time. I laugh about that every time I hear that. Every time I hear myself say that because, well, my preferred game types are 3D platformers, first-person shooters, and role-playing games. You occasionally get some that cross all those genres together, but not always. And I also don't like playing all the newest games for various reasons. I actually get a lot of my games used. Seriously, you can find a lot of good games. You know it's been used. You know people like it. You know people have liked it. There's not much else I can say. Once in a while, I will pick up a new game, just because it's not either because of major hype or actually liked previous versions of that game, whatever. It seems that whenever I do pick up new games, or just discover games, some people have accused me of liking games that are difficult for all the wrong reasons. Like, cheap shots and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Anyway, last thing I'd like to cover before I sign out is what I used to do back in the days when I wasn't really much of a no, I was always much of a gamer. Just when I wasn't really into it and had a backlog 30 games long to finish. I'll cover that in a minute. I used to be a fan of... I used to be into trading card games, but I don't do that anymore. I still got a bunch of my old cards. Like Magic the Gathering 4th edition, that's like years ago. That kind of thing. And Pokemon trading card game when it started. Dragon Ball Z trading card game when it started. I think Werewolf the Apocalypse is in there. No, Rage the Werewolf. Werewolf the Apocalypse is the actual book kind of live-action role-playing and stuff like that. I actually haven't done live-action role-playing in that sense. But speaking of role-playing, I used to be a fan of Dungeons and Dragons back when 3rd edition started. I got a lot of those books, and I've been wanting to get back into it again, but one, I'm not able to find really good groups. Maybe this is just my lack of social ability, but it seems a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons groups have this power leveling problem. I'll take a word from them in defense. You guys who are being accused of the power leveling, go ahead and defend yourself. I just may not really know. Second, there's been quite a few things since 3.0. There's been 3.5. I only have a couple of the books. I don't have the main ones, just because 3.5 seems like a... okay, we'll get rid of the deadliness bit compared to 3.0. And recently there's been a 4.0, and this is why I've been really timid to get back into things. I don't know how recent, but it's recent. And I checked a character sheet for 4th edition. Looks like a lot has changed, so I can't rely on my 3rd edition books anymore. But if you're one of those D&D groups and need an extra person, message me. I might be able to help. But on to more serious notes. I want to be up for online multiplayer. I even have a this is hard. I'm doing this unscripted. I should have mentioned this a lot earlier. I'm doing this unscripted, so I'm not very good at this. And unpracticed, too. I'm usually anxious for some sort of online multiplayer, at least when I'm not going through my 30-game backlog, which includes stuff like Bat and Kaidos. There's a whole bunch. Yeah, that's actually the most recent game I've been playing right now, Bat and Kaidos Origins. I finished the first one, enjoyed it. Second one, liked the dialogue more, battle system, iffy. Whatever. Anyway, as far as online multiplayer goes, I even have a, I recently got Super Smash Bros. Brawl, like, I know, a year late. I have a Brawl code. You can check my channel page for it, or if pressured enough, I might add it as an annotation. We'll see. Final thing. Some of you wonder where I get my, where I get the idea that I feel like I have to post a lot of my old gaming videos. That's because I have an affiliation with Speed Demos Archive, and actually I've published quite a bit there. You gotta hand it to Nate for handling a lot of this stuff. I mean, I know how to do it myself, but it takes a while. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, there's not really much else I can say about myself, so I'm going to leave it at that, sign off. Have a good day, people. And I should get back to the videos after I get done with my backlog, after I get a couple more things in my backlog done. But I don't know, I'll just have to ad-lib it from there. Thank you for watching.